Hi, it's Kirby Summers, and I welcome you to my true crime podcast. Today, I am going to give you a preview of information I have uploaded to my Patreon and to my Substack that goes a little deeper into the new Jeffrey Epstein document drop that began on the 3rd of January, and that will commence today. Before I get started, please like the video, please subscribe. The only reason that I uploaded a podcast for patrons only on my Patreon is because there were some words that I cannot say here on the YouTube platform. Other than that, I'm going to keep reporting on the documents as they drop. Those of you who have followed me from the beginning know that there's nothing literally that's new. I have covered all of these people before via my Epstein Project newsletter, which I then morphed last year into my newsletter on Substack. If you have been getting my newsletter, if you have been listening to my podcast, if you were reading my tweets in my now gone, disappeared Twitter account that vanished in November of 2022, you will know that I have covered all of these people before. There's almost nothing new other than maybe a reminder that this is what people said in their depositions. Today, my focus in what I shared on Patreon concerns Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. There's some contradictory information that was provided by Ghislaine in her deposition during the time that she was sued by Virginia Giuffre. Information that even Prince Andrew basically refuted by stating something other than what Ghislaine said. So while we have seen Ghislaine Maxwell attempt to stay on good terms with Prince Andrew, we have seen this in the interviews that she has provided to Daphne Barak, who is Ehud Barak's, I believe, niece, cousin. She's not his daughter. She's not his wife. She is related to Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. And that is who she has been talking to even in 1992 when she attended an event at the plaza in honor of Robert Maxwell, who had just recently drowned at sea. And she appeared at the event with her mother and Jeffrey Epstein. I think most of you saw that photo. I believe I was the first one to post it. And you know what? From this point going forward, based on all of the people that are stealing my work, it takes a lot of time to find original sources that a lot of time. And for people to just randomly steal my work and or photos that I find and found and shared, from now on, I'm going to just be clear to say, I found it first. I said it first because no one is giving me the credit. Very few people. I'm going to just retract that. I see some people finally giving me credit. You know why they're doing that? Because everything I have shared with the people who follow me on my various platforms is we're doubling down. Everything I said has proven to be true. Suddenly, all the other accounts are saying the same thing. I said it first. I've read the documents. It takes a lot of time to read through court documents. I noticed that a lot of these journalists who have deep pockets working for these mainstream media outlets have never read the documents, or they would know that this person has been named before, that person has been named before, so on and so forth. So again, I uploaded a podcast for my patrons. If you have not become a patron, it's only $5. I have a lot of information up there. Those of you who have been supporting my work on Patreon, I want to thank you. along with the paid information, and everybody has a paywall. It's how we stay afloat. I also have free information. Included in the free information on Patreon are links to the documents. I encourage those of you who can just take aside some time, read through the documents yourself, all right? So that you can confirm what's real, what's going on, versus listening to accounts that may not have read the documents or just repeating bad information. The other thing I did, I believe yesterday, was I uploaded 2 articles to my Substack. One, a deep dive on the magician David Copperfield, who was sued 2 times before, not 1 time, 2 times before. At the time that he was sued years ago, I read the lawsuits very carefully. He was accused of doing the same thing that Epstein did. The lawsuits disappeared because Copperfield has deep pockets and victims are afraid for their lives. We have seen this happen. Even I am afraid for my life, okay? I have had attempts against my life. I continue to receive pushback. It is not easy to stand up to power, to stand up to these elites who have unlimited resources, connections to politicians, and who really make the rules, change the rules according to their needs and desires. And as we have discovered, are connected to the world of intelligence. Okay. So while mainstream may not have heard David Copperfield, I knew about him years ago because I read the documents. I stay up to date with all of the stuff that's been happening in the court system, and I have also not only spoken to a lot of the victims, but I have connections to some of these very powerful people. I have my own recollections to draw upon, which I share with all of you in one way or another. The second story that I uploaded to my Substack is Bill Clinton. I don't know if you have been following me on Twitter, but I uploaded information presented by Johanna Joberg, a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, who also corroborated Virginia Giuffre's allegations against Prince Andrew regarding his second visit to New York City, where he saw Virginia in Epstein's home, that Andrew was inappropriate with her as well, okay? She saw Copperfield in Epstein's homes. So she provided her information. There is more information, including at least 8 notepads retrieved from the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office during Jeffrey Epstein's 2005 raid. What I did is I included not just the screen images showing that Bill Clinton liked them young, referring to young girls. When I was working on Jeffrey Epstein Predator Spy, I did a very deep dive on Bill Clinton and discovered that he was doing similar things in Arkansas with very young girls. In the Substack article I uploaded yesterday, I included the names of these young girls. I included the names of the investigators, and I even included the name of a CIA subcontractor who was killed, murdered, because this person knew too much. If you have been waiting for the opportune time to become a member of my Substack, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. I am working day and night to bring accurate information to you, which mainstream media will never do. They have their own code of non-ethics, I'm going to call it, because if you remember, during the church committee hearings, and I say this time and time again, then CEO of CBS, Sig Mickelson, said that by the time he became head of CBS in 1954, he realized that the station already had a pre-existing contract and understanding with the CIA to share with the public what the CIA deemed fit, so that frankly, what we get from the various mainstream platforms is propaganda. I personally have not watched television or watch anything mainstream since 2009. I depend on my own research of court documents and primary sources for my news because I just, I want real news. I don't want to be lied to. I don't have a lot of time. I want to make practical decisions. So, I do notice an uptick in the people following me here on YouTube. I want to welcome my new followers. I want to thank those of you who have been with me since I began sharing information on the Epstein network years ago. I want to thank those of you who take the time to comment. I appreciate that. I do try to respond. Sometimes I can't due to lack of time, but I try to read everything that you share with me. I want to thank those of you who take the time to like this podcast. It's important because, YouTube's algorithm only shows to other people podcasts that have gotten a lot of likes. And so I do appreciate you taking the time out to at least give this a like. I am going to again follow this basically just this short summary of the work I've uploaded to Patreon and to my Substack. When new documents drop, I believe later today, don't worry, I'm going to be including as much as I can here on YouTube so that everyone can hear it. All right, guys, like, subscribe. Thank you.